All right. Seems like a fun day. We'll go ahead and get into it here. Just wanted to try to get this video up and out quick.
Cool. Oh, Wells, I also, for the picks thing, if we wanted to, I already have a winnable setup that I used for like a week and then never touched again if we just want to use that.
Right on. I'm not
And I
entirely
went,
sure what that is,
it's
but
like Dub Club, and it's like you have to apply for it in the same way and shit, but I already passed the application and shit, just haven't used it.
right on. Yeah, I'd still
Cool.
have to look into all that and figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely look into. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Seems no grant us for at least right now. Yeah,
He just messaged. I'm sure he'll be in here in a second.
that's my thought too. Baby Pluto, 12 team, double flex, PPR, 12-6 record. Just made this trade for May last night before the Myers news. Should you hold on to Gadsden or try to trade him? I mean, you could definitely try to trade Gadsden because, well, you have the ability to. So that's never necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, this is just a really solid roster. Not really sure what else I can say outside of like it's a very good roster. Like,
Is there quarterback listed or?
it doesn't seem to be so, but I think they got Drake May is what they're saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm cool trading away Gadsden if you really want to because you have Trey McBride, but entirely up to you at the end of the day.
A trade in my league that went through today was actually Gadsden for Drake May, which was an interesting one.
Do you think that's fair value? I feel like nobody these days values the quarterback the way that they should. I mean, I know it's not like the most important position, but Drake May has like been a top 4 QB all year for like a guy who's a fringe top 12 tight end, basically.
Yeah, I think the May side wins.
It is a wild one. Trying to see if there's going to be any more wild trades dropping, but we will see. I'd imagine we get one more before the deadline. Is what
They're
it looks
holding
like.
Brees hostage.
That's what it seems. That's what it seems. All right, Dear Tay, start set advice for the week. 10-man full PPR 7-2. So let's try and keep this ball rolling. Always appreciate the help. Well, we're happy to be helpful. Caleb, Quinshon Judkins, Bijan, Nico Collins, Troy Franklin, Tyler Warren, and Kyle Monungai. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the best roster you're going to be able to field. I don't really like having to start any of the Vegas receivers if I don't have to. But that's probably about as good as it's going to get with what you currently have. Don't really need to hold on to Sam Darnold, but I think he's fine to hold on to as well.
I feel like Trey Tucker is like a fine, like spot start type of guy, but that's about it.
Yeah. Parker Washington, Pearsall for May and Pearsall. For May and Slayton. Yeah, I think that's fine-ish. All right. On to the next one. All right. 5-4, 5-way tie for 5 last playoff spots. All right. 2-game lead over next team, PPR league with tight end premium. I made some moves and changes to your roster. Your league trade deadline is in 1 week. Is there anything you should think about trading for or upgrading that before then? Let's see who you have on the buys first before I say anything. Okay. Ideally, we would like a better receiver than Alec Pierce. Like, he's talented, but I wouldn't really count on him being the most consistent thing in the world. But what could you trade? I mean, if the team that just lost Tucker Kraft, Colston Loveland's not a terrible option to throw out there. But in theory, like, you'd want to just build up your wide receiver 3, I guess, in this case, or 2, however you want to preference that with Pierce, and get a better flex in theory than Loveland. But it is tight end premium, actually. But
you'd still probably do better.
Yeah. But that's really about it, especially with the breakout game for Loveland. I think that's something that's going to stick and should be elevated value to hopefully help you get a more consistent option there.
Yeah.
In tight end premium, you could go on waivers and pick up Musgrave and try to get some value out of him, flip him to the Kraft owner or something like that.
All right. On the next one, Viraj, 16-man PPR. You think you need to improve your wide receiver 2 since you guys always ask how you got Bucky, Saquon, London. You flipped Dobbins for Pickens and some pieces for London. Fair enough. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is a sick team. I don't really have anything to say about it again. Like, it seems pretty dope. I don't think the Patriots are going to make a last-minute trade here for wide receiver, so it seems like Stephon Diggs is probably going to be on the up and up.
I mean, he's pretty much just consistently lock him in for 10 points, it seems like nowadays. So I mean, also I like Marv. Like you could just I feel good about starting Marv there, and then you could start Swift at the flex once he's back or something like that. Like
Yeah.
Marv is perfectly fine at wide receiver 2 in my eyes right now.
Yeah. Overall, it's a very solid team, especially if it's a 16-man. Like, I don't really know what you could really do off of waivers to try to improve this team because, like, in theory, like, you don't really need Michael Carter or, like, Jalen Coker on your roster, but, like, they have their upsides respectively. I don't know. Very solid roster overall.
Is Michael Carter even on a roster?
He was cut and then added back on with no one else bidding for him.
He's back on the Cardinals.
Yeah. And was
supposed
to get first
no
team
touches yesterday. Like it's probably not worth holding.
All right. Ajar 12-man PPR. War is over. Your 4-game losing streak is over, and you're officially 4-5. Let's go. But as a wise man once said, job's not finished. This is true. Shout out Kobe. You're out of the playoffs, and you still haven't scored over 104 straight weeks. Jaden Daniels is out, and you trade RJ Harvey and Kate Otten for Dart. You feel like Bill is cooked for the rest of the season. Mike Vrabel is still brain dead, and I need to make moves ASAP. But the only way I feel like I can get something in return is if you trade your glorious King Puka. What move should you make, and who would you target on the waiver wire not named Parker Washington? All right. So let's.
Parker Washington's probably donezo anyway after the trade. It's hard to see without knowing who's on your waivers. I feel like, Bill is like your last flex is fine. Like, it's not horrible. I think you can move past that. You're kind of just waiting for those big boom weeks that, like Tet, once he has more consistency in the red zone. Jackson Dart is going to be pretty good for you, arguably better than Jaden has been even when healthy, and Puka will obviously still compete. Your running back room is just the tad shaky one.
Trying to see who on the waiver wire that's not named that for receiver wise. I don't know. I think you can like trade out a Puka if you really want to. I'm not sold he's going to play this week. I think he like broke a rib or something like that. Yeah, I think you can theoretically tear down if you really wanted to and try to get wider. But overall, like this is a very solid team that's going to have better weeks ahead of it. I'm not very in on the Ja'Cory Cross-Game thing, considering I don't expect Jaden Daniels to play the rest of the season. If anybody's willing to bite on Jaden Daniels, especially since you have Jackson Dart, I think that's worth trying to package them together.
He's dead.
Yeah, I don't see him playing. But aside from that, like, I don't know. I think it's a more than fine team. But if you're looking for a waiver wire guy, like Christian Watson's fun, in my opinion, just because like he's easily somebody that can score 20 fantasy points in any given week.
Mm-hmm.
Is Singletary a good waiver wire pickup? I mean, if you need body, sure. But like he's not somebody that I'm going to be very excited about. Perhaps.
Do you think a guy like Shaheed is on waivers?
Well, we can check actually.
In my league, he's on waivers in 2 of them.
I'd imagine you could find him in some leagues. That would definitely be somebody I would be going for.
Name worth looking at. Like if you just want a guy that you can give a couple spot starts to, like, and we talked about this, but there's literally no other target other than Brock and Trey Tucker. You could give Trey Tucker a rep. He's due for a big play. He's always like boomer bust potential, and now he's like the only other guy there. So,
yeah, ultimately, you can trade away your higher tier assets. It's just like, what are you going to try to tear down into that's really going to provide you a crazy amount of value? I think you're kind of just better riding this team and seeing where it takes you, because I do think there's going to be better days ahead. If you want to get out on Puka because you're expecting an injury, I think that's fine. It's just trying to find something that's going to be relatively equivalent. Like if you switch off Puka for a Mecca, I would be more than comfortable doing that, especially if they're willing to give like a Mecca plus. But I'm not sure if they'd be willing to do that. But he's like, the reason I say is Emeka seems to be in a spot that's going to just be getting a lot more usage. So yeah, all right. And then people also don't know how to properly value Devontae Adams. So that's also kind of another fun name. But yeah, all right. On the next one, Cam Schwartz, touch on. Is there any way you can upgrade from J.K. Dobbins? Not in a comfortable fashion. Like you could quite literally take like J.K. Dobbins and Juwan Jennings together and maybe get something out of that. But ultimately, like I just kind of be fine rocking the team you have. You have Jennings being able to fill in here for Puka while he gets healthy. That is most certainly ideal. Yeah, yeah,
You kind of need Tracy to have like a big week, and that's another trade piece. Just the vibes are low right now, so it's gonna be hard to move off of that. But in a matchup this week against a worse run D, if he has a better matchup, score some points, like people might be more in on Tyrone Tracy. I think trading him before this week was probably the move, though, with all the hype going into his role and everything.
Yeah. Ultimately, like, I'm fine rocking with this team, dude. Like, J.K. Dobbins is going to be very slept on. It makes me feel like I would probably want to buy low on that, if that makes sense. Like, he's still getting a lot of touches per game and is very efficient on them. Would you trade Puka for Igbuka and Monty? I would happily be on that Igbuka and Monty side. Like, Montgomery is just a part of one of the best teams in football. Gives you running back consistency, and realistically, you can use Monty in another trade if you really wanted to try to tier up elsewhere as well. And I guarantee you, Montgomery is going to provide a lot more consistency than Ja'Cory Krosky-Barrett. So I like that play for you a lot. All right, on to the next one here. J369, damn, she's fine. Man League trading tips. What should we go for here? All right. Dart, Etienne, Henry, Odunze, Waddle, Oronde Gadsden, and AJ Brown. I mean, your team is sick. Like, I don't know what you're going to be able to trade. Like, the team is dope. You have so many good players on this.
I feel like 9-man leagues are probably just, a lot of them are pretty loaded these days.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a dope team. What should you do with Travion? I'd be excited. This was essentially a breakout for him, which was kind of exciting to me. Like, he didn't really get there. Apparently, like, the underlying reason why supposedly it was because there was like some sort of like family thing going on with like Jennings and Douglas's families. I have no idea. But that's the conspiracy angle.
They just gave them a touchdown.
It was like someone that they're both related to died or something like that. So they're like, oh, we're gonna try to give Jennings a touchdown and then scheme stuff up for Douglas. But that's if you want to go into the conspiracy side of things.
Yeah, vibes are pretty high in New England if they can just give a guy a touchdown these days.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one. Dale, you're struggling to find out what to do with this team from this point on. If you could give me any tips, or if you can just throw you in the pool for the next stream, we'd really appreciate it. Right on. Well, you're in the next pool, that's for sure. But aside from that,
it's hard to see how deep this league is. I mean, I think in your draft, there's just a lot of like unfortunate things that kind of happen. Like, you're now kind of needing Marks or Monungai to pop, or Travion Henderson or something, just because Genty hasn't really worked out according to plan. AJ Brown hasn't. Chuba Hubbard hasn't. So it's kind of just been unfortunate. I don't know how many trade candidates you have just based off of, I mean, if someone wants to buy high on Monungai or something like that, I would be fine trading off of him personally. But you still have some good players. You're kind of just waiting for better days to come. Hopefully they do.
I mean, it's a good team all around in terms of just like fantasy value. I'm not opposed to like selling off of Lamar, for example, if you really wanted, just because like he's very valuable at the end of the day. And like, if you want something more consistent elsewhere, I think that's fine. Because the reality of the matter is like, you can find replaceable like quarterbacks. It's just like, you're not going to get a consistency like Lamar has. So that is really the only difference there. Aside from that, though, like, it's a really good team. You could just try to tier up to get higher quality assets, but in theory, like, some of these players are about to get a lot better. Very curious to see how the Brees saga is about to play out here. So that'll be fun.
Seems like he's not going anywhere, which is interesting.
It's all right. This is pretty funny. So let's go to Underdog's little tweet thing here that they got going. Where is it? So, all right. So Garrett Wilson considered untouchable according to a team that called the Jets about him. Then 30. Well, let's go from the beginning because I'm not doing this timeline correctly, so pardon me. But basically, they were saying he was untouchable, and then like as of the more recent news, he's became available within like the past 30 minutes. So yeah, 47 minutes ago, Pillar. So Brees Hall not expected to be traded as of now. Then 40 minutes ago, Jets seeking third-round pick for Brees Hall. Okay, so somebody is not budging on their trade negotiations. Then 34 minutes ago from Schultz, Brees Hall wants to be traded.
So would you put your money on him getting traded right now?
I'd say it's pretty likely. I mean, they're just going full fire sale here. Like, I think if you're a Jets fan, I would be trying to find tickets for the draft. Like, you're gonna have a fun time. You're gonna have a lot of fun, like especially in 2027. Like that is going to be such a fun draft to go to. Like I don't know if I'm a Jets fan, like it's sad you're losing a lot of like key players, but like I don't think management's doing a terrible job in terms of like what they're getting back.
I think they won these trades. I don't think
Yeah.
these trades are bad.
So like I don't know. I'd be pretty happy honestly if I was a Jets fan. What could you get for BTJ and Dynasty? A bag of chips. You're not going to find anyone that likes him, unfortunately, right now. Like I was going through like a thought exercise this morning of like, okay, like how do I properly like value these players like at this point? Because as you know, like I'm one of the few people that's still standing that's like I think he's talented, but like I think a lot of people are going to start comping him to Chase Claypool after this year. Would be my bet. And that is not company you want to be in. Now, does that mean that's where he is talent wise? No. But in terms of how people are probably going to look at him, that's probably what's going to happen, unfortunately. So I'm very curious to see what happens to him. My bet is he gets either traded last second before the deadline, which I think has like a 0.000001% chance of happening. But if you want to know the likelihood, I think he actually gets traded this summer. Like, I don't think you make a move for Jacoby Myers when you have Travis Hunter and you're just like, we're still in love with BTJ. I think they're going to utilize him to play their money ball game and get more equity elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said,
I will say Breece Hall has a 66% chance of getting traded according to Kalshi right now.
Ooh. I didn't know that was available. What are there any other markets, or is he the kind of the last
Jermaine
one?
Johnson, Tony Pollard, Trey Hendrickson, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Evan Neal, Brandon Cooks.
You did trade BTJ and Kyron for
Jameis,
JSN and
AJ
Kyler
Brown.
Yeah, Jason
The
and
highest
Kyler's
percentage chance that just shot up 58% in the last 1 minute is David Njoku is up to 94%.
Oh, to the Packers.
Noticing.
Yeah, he's to the Packers. I can almost guarantee that.
Noticing.
That one's very likely. So wait, where is this market? I need to find it.
That's on Kalshi.
Kalshi futures, or where am I looking at here?
Just type in like Breece Hall. Just search one of those guys, and it'll come up with
just
like
searched
players
it.
to get. Find it.
Yeah, because I want to
Jerry
put
Jeudy
no
up to
on a bunch of
77%. Wow. I mean, I feel like Trey Hendrickson getting involved on the no side of things at 50% is kind of valid. I don't think he's going anywhere at this point.
Yeah, like Jerry Judy's not being traded. I can pretty much guarantee that.
But as that relates to this team, Breece Hall potentially moving would help you out there a significant amount. I mean, it obviously depends on the landing spot, but just keep your eyes peeled. You did trade BTJ and Kyron for JSN and Kyler Murray. That's great. JSN is elite dynasty piece.
What a trade, yeah.
Trying to figure out how to do these things, man.
Bannon stocks are about to go crazy. Yeah, everybody thinks he's going to the Packers right now.
Fannin or Njoku?
No, Njoku.
Yeah, I was just there. I'm like, huh? Yeah, screw it. I'll get back into the Kalshi. We're already here. Why not? Damn you, Grant, funding these generate activities. But yeah, I mean, I just don't see a world where Jerry Jeudy is traded. Like, I would be very shocked if that happens. I'm curious to see who supposedly is the leading mind behind that. So I will bet no on that. So we will see if anybody decides to take me up on my offer, I guess. That's how it works.
You just witnessed a live Kalshi trade, folks.
Yeah, gotta love the well, I gotta get somebody to bid on it first, I think. I was like, I'll be the highest bid person. I'll put 24 cents if somebody wants to buy that from me. But yeah, all right, on to the next one here. All right, Abu 2-4 to now 5-4. I feel like the running back room is very weak. Was wondering which wide receivers to trade away and which running back you can target. Also, starting suggestions this week. I mean, I'd love if Tony Pollard, like those rumors of him going to New England, were true. Because now going against the Jets in Week 17 sounds like a running back stream. But that's really about it, dude. Like your team is pretty sick for the most part. You honestly, Garrett Wilson, that's going to be a hard one to kind of dissect mentally because it's like how invested is he probably in for the rest of the season? Like, how much do you really want to use him if you're the Jets at this point? Like, you're clearly tanking. Aside from that, though, DeAndre Swift, I think is fine. I don't think he fully lost his job just yet, but Yeah, I mean, we kind of need to see what running backs are official for the New England Patriots, but those are the ones I would be going after now. Like the Jets defense is going to be horrid. Like that's going to be such a fun one to target for fantasy now. Like I don't know. I can't. Where is Quinshon Judkins props for this weekend?
He's like pretty much guaranteed to play. I think they're. I mean, I would be shocked if they're lower than 80 yards.
Yeah, they'll put it. They won't put it out yet. He's going for like 200 yards this weekend if he plays. Yeah, that game's going to be a slaughter.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's about it. So not as jam-packed of a one. It kind of makes sense as we get a bit further into the season here.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, does Tracy take the RB1 role? I don't think it really matters.
Hopefully.
To be a running back by committee. I hope he does because then it'll give you more usage. But that's really about it. But that's it. Appreciate you all. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.